How to use Airtable forms. Hey guys, in this video we're gonna talk about Airtable forms, how to use Airtable forms. So let's get started. So what you see on the screen right now is a sample HR tracker that I created by collecting data from a form. Here I'm going to show you the form in a little bit, but what this form comprises of, it's a first name, last name, email address, phone number, and a bunch of details of candidate that they upload when they're applying for a company itself. This video is limited to the scope where you just enter the form details, so let's get into this video for now. So what I have here is a basic set of fields, right? So first name, last name, email, phone number, and all of that, and all of these have custom formatting. So for example, email has been sure that email is collected, like email, phone number is collected, like phone number and all of that. Then we also have of years of experience, the job role CV, the HR row is located, the interviewer is located, and then the status of the data itself. This is a very hygiene or a basic collection form. Now full name is primarily going to be the concatenation of the both first name and the last name. Let's focus on this data set. So you can see there is a status field which talks about different activities of a candidate. So the long-term goal is to automate all of that, meaning if a candidate is moved to round 1, an automatic email goes to them. Anyway, so this is the name field where I have concatenated the first name and the last name. So whenever the candidate fills their first and the last name, it automatically fills out the first column. Let's create a form. Now this is a form where we'll collect all the data. We'll call it candidate inflow. And let me walk you through the form itself. You can see that there are some fields that you see here and some fields that you do not see here. So the fields that you see here are called independent fields, which don't have, say, for example, values coming from any other data. Right, so first name and last name are independent fields, but full name, for example, has data that's coming from a formula or see the concatenation from formula, which is why it's called a dependent. So again, first name, last name, email, phone number, all of these are independent fields, which is something that we also want to collect from candidates. But there are also some fields. So for example, before we go there, look at the couple of ways to show the data itself. And now these are some fields that we don't want the candidate to fill, right? So what we can do is we can move them to hidden section where the candidate does not really have to fill all of those fields, but more or less this is how the form looks. Now these are dependent fields, meaning that that's something that the HR can update again. Then there are other options that you can also explore. You can look at a table branding, you can look at blank form. So in the case I don't really want the candidate to fill the form again, and I don't really want that every time a form has filled an email to be sent to my inbox, which will flood my inbox, and I'm adding a custom message here for about a little bit of more clarity there. Let's explore the other options here, which are on the lines of validation per se. Right, so this is where you can make the configuration. For example, if you want to ensure that some values are mandatory, you can kind of change it there. But there's also another option you see, and either if you click on the die, it works the same as dragging it out on the left side on the field section, which will again hide that section. For now though, I'm just going to make all of this mandatory because these are all mandatory details for a candidate to move forward. maybe we can make years of experience a little more. So single select of source, and CV is going to be an attached type of an object. Just for the sake of clarity and ensure that we have some analytics around this, I'm just going to go ahead and make sure that single select is the type of object of this column. You can also delete and make custom groups, which means that the values entered by the users that don't really fit as a part of the validation itself will be deleted. So you need to keep that in mind. Let me fill those up. So now that we have what we need, I'm just going to show you other options as well. So these are all premium options that you can explore if you want. I've already talked about a bunch of these. You can also add your logo and the cover image if you want. These all are paid options and you can explore as per your business requirements. I'm just checking if there is anything else that I can show you. You see that we are looking at it as a list and not a drop down. Now there is also a way where you can conditionalize some of these by using conditional statements here. For example, if I want to ensure that people who have selected one of the options only in job role and the only ones who will be able to kind of upload the CV. So here's the customization I can make. Let's do the similar thing where I only want people who have the mentioned years of experience to able to upload the CV to apply for the job itself, or maybe apply for a position that they want to be given. They have the independence. Otherwise all of these guys will be just going as a management trainee or something on those lines. So if you haven't selected any one options in the years of experience field, you will not be able to see either of these fields. I think that's enough for us to test this data itself. Let's fill in the data here. So imagine you only want to show data to a bunch of users who have more than 2 years of experience, or maybe have worked as a PM in the previous role. That's something that you can configure here, but more or less that's it. The minute the form is filled, you can see that the data appears here. So this is it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching.